Hello and welcome to my first ever declutter. This is something I have been wanting to do for a while and really wasn't sure how to set it up. It's not something I'm normally set up for, but I decided to go ahead and start. I really wanted to start 2024 with a good declutter, and I'm going to start with my highlighters because I think this is going to be the easiest thing for me to declutter, because at the end of the day, most of the highlighters that I end up using end up being in my face palette. So there's a couple that I definitely will be keeping, but I'm probably going to be decluttering a lot more than most in this section, because there's a lot of highlighters that I just don't use. And it's not because they're not good, it's just because I like other things, or I just usually gravitate to the ones that are in my palette. So, but as you can see, I did include some of the like Hollywood Flawless Filter, the Skin Enhancer from Kosas, the Auric Glow Lust. So I did include those because I really wasn't sure if I should include them as primers, but I decided to go ahead and include them in here because I do kind of feel like they are, you know, in the highlighter category. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're first going to start with the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Tilbury. I'm definitely keeping this. The shade I have is 3 Light Medium, and then I also have the other one, which is 2 Fair in a Mini. So this is the preferred shade that I use. This one I use more sometimes as a primer, but I can use this as a highlighter as well. But it is my absolute favorite. You can kind of see here, really blends. I can use it as a primer. I can use it as a highlighter. It's just gorgeous. So definitely keeping my Hollywood Flawless Filter. And then this is the mini that I have in 2 Fair. This one I use more as a liquid highlighter. It is a little light for me for a all over. But again, it's really pretty. So that's like the 2 Fair. That's the 3 Light Medium. Like both. I definitely like this one in a mini. I wouldn't get this one in a full size, but definitely keeping these two. Okay, next up is the Auric Glow Lust. I have the shade Morganite. This is the original Morganite. I think they updated it. I am not 100% sure, but I think this was the shade that was updated. I'll be honest, I do like the Hollywood Flawless Filter more. I think it's just more of a preference. Also, this one is lighter, so I tend to like that shade more, but it is gorgeous. I need to start using this more. It really is pretty, and it really is gorgeous underneath foundation. So I definitely need to start using this more. So, but I'm absolutely keeping the Auric. Next up are 2 products that came out last year. It's actually 1 product in 2 shades. It's the Kosas Glow IV Vitamin Infused Skin Enhancer. I have the shade Illuminate, which is a sheer light medium champagne, and then Boost, which is a sheer medium rose gold. So the Illuminate is definitely a better shade for me, but these are like a Tin Man. So I don't hate these like some people do, but they are extremely shiny. So the Illuminate is definitely a better shade for me. The Boost is a little dark for me. And it's a medium gold. So, I'm definitely going to declutter the Boost. It's just, I don't need 2 shades, especially this one being so dark. The Illuminate, I'm just not sure if I'm going to keep or not. I'm not sure, cause I really, honestly, haven't used these since I got them. So let me, I'm going to put the Boost in the declutter pile, and then I'm going to put the Illuminate in the maybe pile to revisit at the end. Okay, next up is this Largo Glow from Tarte. Now, this isn't necessarily a highlighter. This could be in the bronzer declutter, but I decided to put it in here because it does have a glow to it. It is the Largo Glow Bronzing Drops. I got this for a video because no one had it, and I was curious about the product, but it's okay. I think if you wanted like a bronzer glow, I mean, this definitely probably should be in the bronzer declutter, but it's something, I've used it. I used it under foundation. I also have used it mixed in with a moisturizer. It's really pretty, but to be honest, I just don't use it, and I don't foresee myself using it. So I'm going to declutter this just because it's taking up space, and I just don't use it. Okay, moving on to the highlighters, the liquid highlighters. These are less about kind of all over. This one is fairly new to me. This is from LYS. This is the Brave. I'd always been curious about this, been interested about it. It is a liquid highlighter, but it is very, very sheer. I was kind of concerned because I kind of thought it was one of those like enhancers, but it's not. It's very sheer. I actually really like it. There's not a lot of product. It looks bigger in pictures, to be honest. There's not a lot of product. It's only 0.6 fluid ounces. But I really like it. It's a very sheer, subtle highlighter for being a liquid highlighter. So, and then plus it is new to me, but it's very affordable. I love LYS, so I'm gonna be keeping this one. Okay, so keeping with the liquid highlighters, I'm gonna go to this one from Saie. This is a mini. This is the Star Glow Glowy Super Gel, and I got this as a mini. It is really nice. I forgot I had it, and as I was going through everything, again, it's only like a deluxe sample, but it is a really gorgeous, subtle, just again, a little kind of glowy highlight. It's a small one, so I'm definitely keeping it, but I really, really like it. And then I have these three from Rare Beauty. So one I've had for a while, and then the two I got recently in the little mini set. So the one I've had for a while, I believe, is Magnetize, which is this one. And then the two that came in the set was Mesmerize and Transcend, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I know Transcend came in the kit, but I think that's how it was. We'll start with Magnetize. Now these are the minis. I love the minis for all of the Rare Beauty liquid products. I think it's just so convenient. So this is, again, Magnetize. Next up is Mesmerize. This one has definitely got like a rose gold tint to it. You can see they're really, really pretty. And the last one is Transcend. Now this one's a little darker for me. This would probably be more of a blush topper. Again, I would not have picked this color, but it came out in the kit. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep all three. Like I said, I just got these two, and Transcend was one of them. These two shades are definitely more for me. This one, I might declutter it. This one's gonna go in the maybe pile. So Transcend's gonna go in the maybe pile. These two I'm definitely keeping. Again, they're minis. I like keeping the minis. I'm not sure about that shade just because it's just a little dark for me, and I'm probably never gonna reach for it, but then part of me wants to keep it. And here's three I know I'm not going to declutter just because they're Charlotte Tilbury. This one I am going to declutter just because it's old and you can see how crusty it is. But I am going to just use it as a swatch. This is Spotlight from Charlotte Tilbury. This one is going to be going in the trash soon. I don't use this. I have a mini that I've been using, but it is, I do love this. I've had this one for like 3 years. The next is Pillow Talk. I love Pillow Talk. I just got this one pretty recently. I also have it in a mini that I use for travel. I love it so much. Really, really pretty. And then, you know, and actually it's pretty close to Transcend. So I don't know, maybe Transcend isn't so dark for me because I've been able to use Pillow Talk. But I don't know. I was surprised it's so close. Now this one is definitely too dark for me. This is the gold. I only got this one because it was in the Disney collection. And then I'm doing a video on all the Charlotte Tilbury wands. I am going to keep this one just for reference for swatching purposes. I do sometimes put this on my eyes. It's too dark for me for a highlighter, but I still love it. And then plus it has Tinkle Barrel on it. Okay, so the rest of these I literally picked up just for a video on doing a comparison for comparing them to the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light wands, which I am going to do hopefully soon. I am going to probably declutter all of these because I have the originals. I will tell you none of these are exact dupes for the original, and I don't need the dupes. But there are some pretty good dupes in here, so I am going to go through these. But these will eventually be decluttered once I do that video. But I will go through them really fast. So the first is the Halo Glow from e.l.f. This is in the shade Rose Quartz. This is actually pretty good. The blush ones aren't as good. This one is a very good dupe for Pillow Talk. it is pretty dark. I still think, you know, if I'm going to compare, the Pillow Talk is better. And then honestly, I think, you know, even the Rare Beauty highlights are great. Obviously, I'm not a fan of the sponge, but it's specifically not the e.l.f. ones because you can't close them like you can with the Charlotte Tilbury. So this is an okay dupe highlight. I think they're better ones, but this one's okay. But again, that one, all of these will be decolored. I'm not going to keep any of these. The other one is the highlight in Champagne. I think this is the one that's supposed to be like Spotlight, and we'll kind of see it here, and you can see it next to Spotlight. So it is a pretty good dupe for Spotlight as well. Again, I hate the top of it, but again, I'm going to be decluttering these. I think they are pretty good dupes if you don't want to spend the $42 that Charlotte Tilbury is. I think these are pretty good, especially for they are, and especially if you're only going to use them every once in a while. Next up, we have from Wet n Wild. This is the Hello Halo, and this is the shade Halo Goodbye. And I actually like the applicator of this one, but this one is really, really megawatt. This one I just don't, I mean, it's Wet n Wild. It's not supposed to look natural, but to me, it's just not natural enough or at all. So it's, I think it'd be great, like, but it's probably more, you know, I'll give this to, you know, my friend's daughter. Okay, now one that these don't budge. So if you want something that is not gonna budge and it's like water resistant, these from Revolution, the Bright Lights, this is Strobe Champagne. These don't budge. Like these take, I mean, they take a long time to get off. You need like an oil cleanser or, you know, just, and it takes a long time. So to me, it's not, I think it doesn't really blend out very well. It's okay. I don't think it's a great dupe for Charlotte Tilbury. I think this just looks really, really, I don't know, it's a little too much for me. But if you want one that's not gonna budge, it's great. Okay, next up is another one from Revolution. This is the Super Dewy. These are really good. I like the Super Dewy. And as far as highlighters and blushes, they're great because of the applicator. I like this much better than the sponge. This one is like the gold. I think that's what it is. I think this is gold as well. This one is too dark for me, but it was the only shade I could get, but I think it's a very good dupe for the gold Charlotte Tilbury. Again, I obviously have no reason to keep this one because the gold is too dark for me and this one is too dark for me. But if you're looking for a good dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Goldgasm, this is a really good one. And then we have the one from Milani. This came out, I think, last year. This is the lightest shade. I think they came out with 3 of them. This is Lunar. And the same thing with the e.l.f. It has the sponge applicator, but you can't close it. So it has a very similar applicator to the e.l.f. Between this one and the e.l.f., I want to say I thought I liked this one better. The shade is a little bit more unique. It's kind of it's more natural. I think it's pretty good. I think they're about the same price, but I do remember liking this one probably a little bit more. Again, not enough to keep it because I have the original for Charlotte Tilbury and that's what I'm gonna reach for, but I do think this is a pretty good dupe. And then finally, we're going to get to the last 2 that I have for that video, and this is from Revolution Pro. This is the Goddess Glow Cream Highlighter. Now, these are meant to be dupes for Charlotte Tilbury. Now, these are about $14 as opposed to the Charlotte Tilbury that are $42. And I will say that these are the best dupes on the market. In addition, the contour wands are very, very good as well. I know Revolution, I don't necessarily like promoting their products because I know they kind of just steal everybody's idea, but they do make a good dupe. So this is a glow, and you can kind of see it there. Now this one, I still don't think it's as nearly as good as the one from Charlotte Tilbury, but it does give a nice glow. Well, that's what it's called. It's called a glow. And then this is a blaze. I think this is the one I like more. This is the one I think that's a little bit more It's kind of like more like Spotlight, but also like has a little bit of pink undertone. So I do like these. Now they're not exact dupes. I will be making that video soon, and I will be comparing these straight to the Spotlight and the Pillow Talk to see how they compare. But as far as the quality, I think they're the closest, and as far as most affordable, they also have the applicator that closes and turns on and off. So while I don't like the sponge applicator, this one has the one that you can turn on and off. So if I were to recommend one, it would be these from Revolution Pro. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the 3 cream highlighters that I have. I do have 2 from Charlotte Tilbury that are part of the quick and easy makeup kits, but those will be part of like the palette declutter. But those I do actually use quite a bit. So the first one is from Danessa Myricks Beauty. This is the Dew Wet in Holy Water, and I believe I received this in a Beautylish Lucky Bag. This is really pretty, but I want to tell you, I forgot I had it because it's been sitting in my drawer, and it is like, it's intense, right? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, but not necessarily natural. And also, I don't know, I just don't reach for it. I think it's beautiful, but I'm never going to wear this. So this is one I'm definitely going to declutter. I love Danessa Myricks Beauty, but this is just not something I'm going to use. And then next up, we have this one from Merit Beauty. This is Kava. I actually really like Merit Beauty. This was one of the products that I just wasn't sold on. It's a really pretty highlight for subtle, and actually it swatches pretty, better than it's okay. It's okay. I think it's really pretty, but I just never reach for it. When I want to highlight, I don't reach for cream highlights very often. And if I do, I just want something a little bit more intense. So I do tend to go for a liquid over a cream for highlight. And this is just one that I just don't reach for. So I am going to declutter this one from Merit. And then finally, this one is brand new to me, so I am definitely keeping it. I just got it, and it is from Victoria Beckham Beauty. I made a purchase on, I believe it was Cyber Monday. They had 25% off. I'd been wanting to get some products from Victoria Beckham Beauty, and they had like this bundle. This was in the bundle, and this wasn't necessarily a product that I wanted, but it made more sense to get the bundle. So I went ahead and got it, and I've only swatched it. I haven't done it yet, but it's really pretty. Now, looking at it next to the Merit, it's very similar. It's very similar. It's a very subtle, highlight. So is it going to become a favorite of mine? Probably not, but I think it's really pretty. But I think it's just so funny that it's very, very similar to the Merit highlighter. And I'm decluttering that one, and I just purchased this one. So that makes no sense, but I am going to keep this. Okay, now we're going to move to the powder highlighters. These are all powder highlighters. As you can see, I have a couple from different brands. So I have 3 shades. So these are all 3 shades from Give Beauty. This is Platinum Cowgirl, Homegrown Glow, and Carrot Country. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm definitely decluttering these 2 because they're too dark for me. So let's take a look at Platinum Cowboy. And one of the things I do like about the Give Beauty is that it has 3 shades. So you have like a really light one right here, and then you have this like pink right here that you could kind of go into, and then you've got like this peachy one. And then if you wanted to combine them all together, which is pretty much what I do, you've got a really pretty highlight. So I am going to keep the Platinum Cowboy. I think it's a really pretty highlight. It's a really nice powder highlight. And I do like Give Beauty, so I am going to keep this one. These 2, however, I am going to declutter. This is Homegrown Glow. This is the medium shade. So as you can see, this one is dark. It's pretty, but it's just way too dark for me. This is more for a medium tan skin tone. And then this one is way too dark for me. This is Carrot Country. And again, this one's just way too dark, but gorgeous. I mean, this would look gorgeous as an eyeshadow, and actually both would, but this is just way too big to keep for as an eyeshadow. I think it's really pretty, but they're both really pretty, but I'm going to give them to somebody that will actually use them. And then I am going to keep the Platinum Cowgirl, not Platinum Cowboy. Okay, next up is one that I'm definitely going to be keeping. This is from Kaleidos. This is the only highlighter that I have from Kaleidos, and I purchased it simply for the name, but I absolutely love the highlighter too. My husband's name is Ray. My son's name is Ryder. It's spelled like that, and this is Ray Ryder, and it is the perfect highlight. I absolutely love it. So it's a really gorgeous highlight, very intense, but it does, you can like sheer it out, but it is my absolute favorite highlighter. I use it all the time. I barely made a dent, and then I just love the name. So this is one that I am definitely keeping. Now this is going to be difficult because I have these three from Charlotte Tilbury. I love Charlotte Tilbury. I got these, and I actually really, really like these highlighters. These are the Glow Glide Face Architect highlighters. These came out, I want to say beginning of 2023, so about a year ago. I made a video for them. I think they're fantastic. However, I just never reach into them because one, they're just a little too bulky, so I can't keep them in my regular drawer because I just don't have the room for like a highlighter like this size. And then plus, when I reach for the highlight, I usually reach for, especially a Charlotte Tilbury highlight, I reach for a one in one of the palettes that I have, because I have several palettes that do have a highlight, or I reach for one of the Beauty Light wands. So I just never reach for these three. I want to keep one of them, but I'm really struggling. So I have Moonlit Glow, this is Champagne Glow, and then this is Pillow Talk Glow. So those are the three that I have. We'll go ahead and swatch all three so that you can see. I think the formula is great. So this is Moonlight Glow, it's gorgeous, Champagne Glow, and then Pillow Talk Glow. You know, and then comparing it to Ray Ryder, which I'm really that I'm keeping, the Ray Ryder is kind of an in-between between Moonlit Glow and Champagne Glow, but I don't know which one. So I'm gonna put these in the maybe, because I maybe will keep one. I'm definitely not keeping all three, but I'm not sure. And then this is the Becca, it's a Becca mini. Obviously Becca's out of business. You can get these. This is the Champagne Pop. And then as I was getting ready for this video, it completely just disintegrated and fell out. So I repressed it. I'm not sure. This was one that I was definitely keeping because I do reach into it quite a bit just because of the size. It's very easy to keep around. But, you know, now it's broken. I don't know. I'm kind of want to keep it. I definitely won't keep it. If I keep this, I won't keep Champagne Glow because it's very similar to Champagne Glow. You can kind of see there. And I just like the mini size. But again, this is going to be in the maybe pile as well. And then let's take a look at the two from What's Up Beauty. Okay, so here are the two from What's Up Beauty. This is Wild Acacia, and this is Safari Sunset. This came out, I want to say mid-2023. These were sent to me in PR. This one is a little dark for me. So this is Safari Sunset. I love the embossing. So that's Safari Sunset. It's not, I can definitely make it work. And obviously the this shade right here is a little dark. The pink one is definitely one that I can make work. The lighter one is definitely just a little better for me. What I'm going to do is I am going to keep, yeah, I think I'm going to keep the Wild Acacia and then declutter. You know, I kind of like, you know, no, I'm going to keep Wild Acacia. I'm going to declutter Safari Sunset. It is a little dark for me. And I think these, if I wanted like a blinding highlight, this definitely gives me that. And, if I'm going to keep one of the champagnes, that kind of is what this is. So I'm going to keep Wild Acacia and declutter Safari Sunset. Okay, next up we have this one from Pat McGrath Labs. Now this is, I want to say it is Golden Moonlight. I received this as, I think, free gift with purchase. Beautiful, but as you can tell, I've never touched it. I have a couple highlights in palettes that I use a lot. I love her highlight. I just never reached for this one. It's a beautiful highlight. I think I've only swatched it. We'll put it over, well, let's put it over here. Gorgeous, gorgeous highlight. But it's very similar to the Becca You know, and I think when I reach for in the palette, I reach for the ones that are in the palette, not here. So as much as it's pretty much brand new. So I am going to declutter this one, give it to a good home, someone that's actually going to use it. Yeah, that's a little hard for me, but I can't see myself using a highlighter this size. And then this last one is from Perfect Diary Beauty. This is like a Chinese brand. They've sent me a couple products. This highlight is, you can tell I've never reached for it. And it's mainly because the packaging is so bulky, but it is so pretty. It is called the Perfect Diary Stardust Diamond Highlight Powder. And it is the most unique highlight ever. And it's just, you can see here, it is literally like just, it's a glitter bomb. It is just gorgeous, but you could use it as a topper. You could use it as a lot of things. But again, I never reach for it because it's just so bulky. I love, love, love this highlighter. But again, because it's so bulky, it sits in a bigger drawer and not on my vanity, and I never reach for it. So as much as it pains me, I think I'm gonna declutter it because as pretty as it is, I just don't use it. Okay, now let's bring back the ones that I have in the maybe pile. So let's do the powders first. So we have these 3 from Charlotte Tilbury, and I was looking at my palettes that I have that I use for highlighters. The Pillow Talk one, I'm definitely going to declutter just because I have some pinky highlighters that I use that are part of some other palettes of hers. So I'm definitely going to declutter the Pillow Talk Glow. And then looking at these two, the Champagne Glow is very similar. Just looking at the other ones that I'm keeping. So we have this one from Give Beauty, this one from WhatsApp Beauty, and then obviously the one from Kaleidos. The Kaleidos is kind of in between, and I reach for this one a lot. So, you know, again, I have 2 highlighters. I have a bunch of highlighters in Charlotte Tilbury, especially that mini little Hollywood blush highlight from that came out in the holiday. So I'm actually going to declutter both of these, and it's mainly because they're just so big. I wish they were this size. I am going to keep this for a little bit. It still works well. I'm going to have to keep this in the drawer. It's one that I used to love to travel with, but now I'm not going to be able to travel with it. But it still works well. I can get this in a mini. They do sell it, the Smashbox and Becca. They do sell the Champagne Pop in a mini, so maybe I will purchase that. A lot of times these are on sale during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, so maybe I'll pick it up. If not, I'm going to keep this for a while. But next time I do a declutter, if it's not around, it's because it shattered and I ended up decluttering it again. But I am going to keep this one. Obviously, I'm keeping Ray Ryder. I am going to get rid of, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm getting rid of all of my Charlotte Tilbury Face Architect. And then we'll keep those 2. And then the other 2, I'm going to keep the Rare Beauty one. I like the mini. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I like it. I just got this shade. And it's actually not... it's probably not a dark. I want to try it on my skin and see if I can make it work. And then this from Kosas, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to declutter it. I barely used it. I think I used it once since I got it. I used it for a video, and then I used it once since, and then I've never used it. And I have the Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have the Auric. I don't need this. So I am going to declutter the Kosas. Okay, so here we have the keep pile. Here we have the declutter pile, and I think I did pretty good. I actually thought it was going to be more ruthless. I think I got a little sentimental, but also keeping these minis, they don't take up a lot of space, and I want to use these. So I have 4 of the powders. So 4 powder highlighters, which is probably still more than I need because I do usually reach into the palettes that I have, with the exception of Ray Ryder, but I do really like What's Up Beauty. I like having something to compare to as well as Give Beauty. Then we have, so we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16. I am getting rid of this spotlight, but I do have a replacement. So I'm counting it as a keep and the keep. But so 16 in the pile. Now, obviously the gold is just because I want it for reference. Now, but I do have more in the declutter. So in the declutter, obviously I'm getting rid of, I can't believe I'm getting rid of all the Charlotte Tilbury, but it does make sense because I just don't reach into them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 21 versus 16. So I've decluttered over half, so probably like 60% of my collection. So I'm really pleased with that. I think this is a really good first declutter for me for highlighters. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to be next, probably bronzers, and then I'm going to be branching off and doing pretty much my entire collection because I really need to get my collection down to something more usable and something that I can organize better. So this was my very first declutter, and hopefully it was a success. And of course, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video, and stay tuned for more declutters coming up. Bye everyone.